Lord. Did you know this morning if you don't change, it won't change. If you don't change, it won't change. I had an opportunity last night to talk to someone. It was about marriage, but it could be about anything. God gave me 3 keys. And these keys are to your life right now, no matter where you are. It could be a marriage, it could be a relationship, it could be children, it could be your job, it could be your environment, it could be anything, any situation. But this just happens. Last night would be about a marriage. I said 3 things you can do. The first thing you can do, which would be the easiest thing you ever do, is just keep living and let it go. Don't change nothing. Just keep on with your lifestyle. You and her just keep on doing what you're doing. And keep going 10 years from now, you'll be in the same spot, but it's the easiest thing you ever do. The second thing you can do is you can't change that person. But you can change you. And when you change your thoughts, your reactions, and the way you think, eventually the person will change, but it's going to take some time. That's going to be the hardest thing you ever do. I said, then there's a third thing that you can do. The third thing you can do is cut and walk away. I said, that's going to cost you the most. He said, yeah, it cost me a lot of money. I said, I ain't talking about money. I'm talking about everything that's around you. So which one do you want? Which door will you face in life? Which door will you go through? Because it starts with you. You can change your circumstance by changing your thoughts. You want your money out, you want your marriage out, you want your children out, you want your health out, change the way you think. It changes everything. When ideas stop, economy stops, finances stop, money stops, corporations stops, because ideas stop flowing. Everything happens between the space between your 2 ears. Life begins in your head. When you can get your head out, you can get your money out, your finances out, and everything. It's amazing that when a child is born, they flip over, they get in the birth canal, and their head gets in position. A baby comes out head first most of the time. It's what a doctor would like, what a mother would like, and it's what we all would like. And when that head comes out, it's the only time in life that the child has got his head in the game. The rest of his days will be stress and struggle when it shouldn't be. Because his head was not in the game. He was taught from the time he was born, because he watched his daddy, his head went in the game. His mama's head went into the game, and so his head ain't in the game. And now he goes through life thinking like they think. You're one thought away from reformation. You're one thought away for a cure to cure cancer. You're one thought away from your best message. You're one thought away from a song that's in your heart. You're one thought away from being a millionaire. You're one thought away from overcoming, building a business. You're just one thought away from being all those things. It's the thought process. Actually, you serve the Lord with your mind. You serve humanity with your mind. The Bible talks about sowing and reaping. You sow with your mind, you reap with your mind. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever he sows, he reaps. What got this message started, you probably laugh at this, but what got this message started this morning is this prayer. I was telling the intercessor prayer team about I went to a funeral one time. I don't like going to the funerals. I might show up as yours if you die, but hopefully I won't, because hopefully you ain't planning on going nowhere. And if you do, praise the Lord, maybe somebody will call me. But just hit speed dial before you go think about Elizabeth. We'll come and raise you up. Amen. Amen. And I don't know if it was Mom. I think it was Mom. Somebody told me, somebody in the community had died. I was going to go see him, and Mama had told me. I think it was Mama that told me. And so I went to the funeral home, and it was the wrong funeral home. And as I walked into the funeral home, everybody looked different. Didn't know nobody. And you know me, I fit in with everybody. I fit in within the crowd because I'm easily one of the types of guys that just blends. I don't stand out at all. So I blended in with the crowd. Everybody started looking at me. And the first thing that I thought was what I thought they was thinking. And I could hear people saying in my mind, who is that? How did Grandma know him? And so instead of walking out, I'm already committed. When you're already committed, you got to go through with this thing. So I walked up to the casket, and the guy, the one that died was a man. Well, this was Grandma in here. And I said, yep. Looks good to me. But it was the process of the thoughts. And when I walked in, how people thought about me and how they perceived me. The man's thoughts will get him in trouble. When somebody says something to you, you think about it and you turn it and you twist it. That's why the cell phone, the texting, you keep texting if you want to, but people think about your text. It's nothing, it's no life in it. It's not personal. There's no life in it all. The Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. And those who love it eat the fruit thereof. The life is in the tongue. Because the tongue comes from the head. We always ask God to give us money to fix a marriage. No, what we need to be asking is, God, give me an idea. Because that one idea can cause money to come. Come on, somebody. Somebody brought something up this morning, and the first thing I thought about was Shark Tank. Let's go to Shark Tank with this thing. Because somebody was talking about how you text on the phone. We need to pray for the texters. And we need to pray for the folks on the road as they're texting. And I said, what you need to do is come up with an app and go to Shark Tank, and every time you get in a car and there's vibration through motion, it locks your phone down where nobody in the car can text or call. Somebody buy that idea. You could get highway patrol. You could get the counties. You could get the state to buy that idea because it would save lives. You're one idea away from being a millionaire. You're one idea away from curing cancer. You're one idea away from healing your marriage. Amen. It's not a marriage counsel. The marriage counsel is going to tell you to start thinking. Yeah. Think how you can resolve this situation. And then they're going to say $150, and you say, for what? And then they're going to tell you this. They're going to say, and if you don't get it right, you're going to go to a lawyer. And guess what they're going to say? $650. And you're going to say, for what? And your pastor told you, and it didn't cost you nothing. One idea away. One idea away. Thank you, Haven. Thank you, Joshua. Let's go to the text this morning and read. Is anybody interested about how your thoughts can change your destiny? Your thoughts can change your life. Let's read about one man. His name was Solomon. One of the wisest men in the world at that time. But we're wiser than Solomon. Because we have the Holy Spirit. Solomon didn't have the Holy Spirit. We have the kingdom of God. Solomon didn't have the kingdom of God. He had the kingdom of David. His kingdom fell. His kingdom collapsed. It was not an everlasting kingdom. Your thoughts in the flesh will never last, but your thoughts in the spirits from everlasting to everlasting. God's given us the thought to have strategies, plans. We're one thought away from the greatest experience we've ever had. One thought away. And we're waiting on God. And you're just one thought away. What if you knew this morning you were just one step away from everything you need to enjoy the journey? You are. You are. You're just thinking like a man instead of thinking like what God thinks. Now watch this. Solomon, the wisest man. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7. Can you do that, Joshua? Can you just break it down in verse 7 and then we go back, because this is what we read. We read verse 7 and we take the contents out of verse 7, but it's in verse 6 and verse 8. Watch this in verse 7. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's all we read. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But that's all we know. So the concept of the scripture is, if I think in my heart, so am I. But that's not the full scripture. So let's go to Proverbs 23 and verse 6 through verse 8. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye. Oh, so why is my thoughts evil? Because I'm eating the bread of other evil people. I'm thinking like they're thinking. Oh, come on, somebody. See, this is what happens. And see, we as pastors, as fivefold ministry, we just give you just a piece of the word, and we build off the piece of the word, but we don't build off what Jesus said. And because we don't know it, for the lack of knowledge, the people perish. And we go to church all our life, and we're supposed to go to get something because you give something. Yeah. I saw a bunch of you come down to the wheelbarrow. You didn't come down to the wheelbarrow to shake up the cement. What's doing the wheelbarrow, you know? How many always was a wheelbarrow man when it comes to cement time? I've done that. That's some hard work now. But no, you came to sow, because now when the word comes, you're supposed to reap what you sowed, because you sowed into the word. And I'm just wondering today if maybe we're in the shape we're in because we sat in church so long and sowed into it and believed it, and now we're worse off than we ever were. Yeah. Nobody want to preach about that. Because when we preach about it like that, there's a lot of naked people. But it's time to start exposing lies, and it's time to start preaching truth. Because that's the only thing that's going to set you free, is you to know different. What if from the time you was born, now my grandson, he's fixing to come out.
He looked like it.
And the second he comes out, he's going to be probably pointing his finger and say, look, look, Mommy, look. It won't be long he'll be talking. It won't be long he'll be cutting teeth and just talking, look. You know how they got the W's with the hell? That's just funny to me how little children, look. And he's going to be growing by other people teaching. He's going to only grow by other people teaching. And what he sees and what he hears is what he'll become. If he's around alcohol, if he's around drugs, if he's around abuse, that's what he'll be. Yeah. If he's around cursing, he's going to come out cursing. Yeah. Because, and guess what? And this is how they do it. You know that movie years ago, kids say the darndest things. They sure do. It's not the darndest things. They say what you say. And this is how they get you, because us parents know. They get you when you're around about 20 people. Anybody with me? And you're like this right here. Where did you get that from? And then that's when you're supposed to say, look, Asher, look. But kids are going to learn by what they around. They're going to learn by what they see. The learning curve of a child is so great when they're the smallest, because when they're coming out, I mean, I'm looking at little Rose right now. And she, right now, she's learning right now. You say, how can she learn? This is her developmental years right now. When she's a baby. They learn so much. And they're going to watch. And they're going to seek and they're going to find. They would never know how to walk unless they learn how to walk. They're watching other people walk. They say, look, I can do that. But this is how they say it. And if you could have an interpreter, you'd be able to determine that they're learning. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meals, dainty meats. What we're around is what we'll become. Now watch verse 7. Now look how this thing plays out. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. And then he goes back to the eating and drinking. So really, how does a man think? He thinks by what he's around. He only thinks by what he's exposed to. Because you can't think outside of somebody sharing to you. And what if the Lord was speaking to us instead of other people? We would have great ideas.
Yes, sir.
We wouldn't have marriage problems because that's how we got them.
Yes, amen.
Oh, you ain't helping me preach today. I'll preach right. Let's take up another office. Somebody will give me that book.
Yep.
You're having the trouble that you're having because somebody else exercised that in their lives and you watched it.
Yes.
And you didn't know it, but it was a gradual feed because the devil ain't going to just throw you up in there because you know it's him. But if it's gradually, I'm going in bondage.
Come on.
Over the course of some years. And now all of a sudden I'm chained and I can't get out because I didn't know that it was so gradual.
Yes.
But now I'm in a place, and here it goes right here. Now in a place I can't get out because you've always been free. And now all of a sudden, I can't move my arms. I can't get out. Why can't you get out? Because I've never been in bondage before. Because I was born free. See, you weren't born in bondage. You was born free.
That's right.
Come on.
That baby's in its purest form right now. That's the kingdom of God right there. Because guess what? That baby is relying on her daddy to even birth her.
Yeah.
She knows that it takes some help from somebody else to even help me birth. And when we can rely on God in all things,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have the problems we're having.
Yes.
And quit watching other people. It's amazing how many folks is trying to cancel people and they've had 3, 4, 5, 6 marriages. They trying to cancel somebody else. I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Amen.
I mean, just like a bum on the street, you're going to tell me how to be rich? Where do you live? 203 Corner Bridge, Raleigh, North Carolina. Where's that at? Off South Saunders Street. Is that a nice apartment place? No, 1 story. It's cold. Somebody didn't pay, sad story. Yeah. So we're trying to get information from people that don't know. We go to people, watch this. This is why we're not being delivered. Because we go to people that has the same problems we have because the enemy knows that he don't want you to get to a place where somebody can help you. He wants to get you to a place where they can keep you. And if you can just join up with somebody that's in the same shape that you're in, that you'll never be able to get out because ain't nobody can give you a new idea. And you need a new, good God of mercy, you need a new idea to get out. And that's why we're sitting right here where we are with the same old ideas because we had never hung out with somebody with some new ideas.
Amen.
Now we're going to be here 10 more years because there's only 3 things you can do anyway.
Yep.
You can keep living the same way you want to live,
Come on.
or you can change the way you think,
Come on.
or you can just walk away.
Come on.
So which one you want? It's simple, and today's simple. I gave you the opportunity to walk out early,
Yeah.
and you didn't.
Oh.
Now watch this. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. You eat and drink with who you want to, is what it said. But the person you eat with's heart's not with you. They're trying to destroy you.
Come on.
So many people get hooked up with so many people that's there to destroy you, and it's God's grace that's keeping you from being destroyed. And there's always a cry. There's always a cry. Wisdom is always crying, stay away from that person. My daddy used to tell me. And then there was a cry out of my heart. Oh! Oh! Well, you'll get that later. Don't go down the road. Don't go over there. Stay away from those people. Did your mom and daddy ever tell you that? Raise your hand. And you didn't listen. And then the cry came out of you. Oh! Oh! You know why? Because they hurt you. But it could have kept you. And then you say, well, if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't know. Dummy. And you like pain? Why don't you stick your finger up here and let me hit it with a hammer and see if it hurts? So you'll know how pain feels. I'd rather Brother Tim to show me his finger and say, this is what happened, brother. Oh, we don't want none of that. Come on, somebody. We ain't playing that game. Well, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with you. Now watch this next verse. The morsel which thou hast eaten shall thou vomit up, and you will lose thy sweet words. You'll lose the thoughts that was in your mind that are good. Because you hung out with that person. You showed me your friends, I showed you your future. I've never seen where people didn't hang out with folks that they didn't change. Hang out with them long enough. They drinking, you be drinking. They smoking, you be smoking. They cursing, you be cursing. Come on, somebody. I'm telling you the truth. That's why you better know who your kids are. You better know who your kids are hanging out with. Come on, somebody. My children didn't hang out with anybody. And we as adults need to watch who we hang out with too. Come on. And just because you say, praise the Lord, glory to God, that don't mean nothing. That's the ones you might better run from. That's the ones you might better run from. Those who are holier than thou. Because they're the ones who are hiding something. Come on, somebody. I ain't trying to hide nothing today. You ask me, I'll tell you.
Amen.
You seek me, you can find me. I ain't hard to find.
Yes, sir.
I might not be I might be ashamed of it, but I'll tell you.
Yes, yes.
Those people that's hiding stuff, they're the ones that get you killed. The morsel which thou hast eaten, you shall vomit up, and you'll lose the words of life that was in your head that was coming out of your mouth. Remember, let's go back to 7. Now, Pastor, how in the world did you get all that out of that? Because so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's all we know. And you didn't know the whole story. Is anybody learning anything now?
Yes.
The whole story is you need to watch who you hear. Listen to who you're listening to. I'm going to tell you something. Number one, ain't none of you my close friends. None of them. I hate to tell you that. Well, pastor's got a close friend in the church. No, he ain't. Because I understand if I have a close friend, now I can't be your pastor. And when I go to prophesy over you, or when I go to speak to you about your soul in jeopardy, now you'll think of me as a friend instead of as somebody that's a bishop or somebody that's over your soul. So I ain't going to get too close to none of them. So thank you very much. Praise the Lord. I love you. And you call me friend if you want to, and I'll call you friend. But it ain't going to be no close friend. Because your soul is more valuable than your friendship. People don't understand. A man's soul is more valuable than his friendship. I'd rather you leave away from here mad today, never speak to me again, and knowing I saved your life. That's more important than anything. Because you might not think so, but your life is more important than anything. I just don't like what he said. Well, so do something about it. I know something you don't know. Why don't you ask me that thing that I don't know? So you can know. And then we both can know. And then we'll both be in the know. You know? Eating other words. Listening to other things. We raise our children like our parents raised us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We go to the same restaurant because they took us there. Right?
Talk about it. Yeah.
Nothing never changes. Your credit's not the problem. Your car's not the problem. The solution that you're in right now is not the problem. The thoughts that are in your head, that is the problem. The whole battlefield of life is in your head. And when you can get your head right, everything else will change.
Amen.
Everything. Well, how about this thing that's going on in my back, in my leg, in my foot, in my toe, whatever. I don't care where it's at. Get your head in the game.
Come on.
Get your head in the game. I went to the doctor this past week to get a clearance for my shoulder. I've been to the doctor about my shoulder and wanted to do MRI. They can't do an MRI. Well, I didn't want them to do an MRI because I've got artificial valve. And I got a pig valve. And I just want to stop right now and I want to thank God. Because my head was in the game. Because I can do stuff that most people that's got a good heart can't do. And I want to just give God praise right now. I want to give Him thanks and give Him glory right now for giving me the opportunity because I've had 3 open heart surgeries.
Yes, yes.
I remember when I was 12 years old, when I had open heart surgery, 1976, and played on the ball team, and had to go to the hospital, UNC hospital, the day that they played the championship game in baseball. I couldn't quit then. It was a good time to quit. It's a good time to be a victim because I can't play. Yeah, I'm going to have heart surgery. I can't make it. No, I had an overcoming spirit inside of me. I didn't talk about dying. I didn't have no devil talk inside of my head because I had a victor's heart. And I got up out of that heart surgery and I missed the ball. The only time Fuquay ever won the state championship was in 1976. And I made the all-star teams and I couldn't be there to play with them. I went home that summer, missed half a year in school, and the other half I couldn't go but a half a day. I remember having to carry the children, carry the chair out. And I wondered what the chair was for. The teacher would stand right there during recess, and I'd have to sit down at recess. She wouldn't let me play. You know what that would do to a 12-year-old child? You know what that would do to a child? You go to the hospital and they look at you and they grope over you and they prod and pick at you, and those college kids look at you and they got their little notepads out and all you are is just an experiment. You sitting there as a little 12-year-old, number one, scared to death, and all these doctors and all these suits all on, and they're coming in talking. I think he's got this, and I think, look at his color, taking notes. You know how that makes you feel? No, you don't know how that makes you feel. Then go back to the hospital, and they tell you at 14 you got leukemia. Leukemia. I didn't know what leukemia was. I didn't know how to say it. I had to do all the blood tests, in and out of the hospital all my life. You need to quit crying. You need to get your head in the game, because there's a lot of people that just wish that they had the moment that you got right now. And some of you crying and whining, wanting to die, wanting to give up. When people laying in the hospital bed, asking God for one more breath, and we crying about it. God's give us an opportunity to keep on going.
Yes.
Good health. They're laying up, just want one more moment, God. Just one more moment, Lord. Let me have one more time. People sliding out of the universe right now. Every time I speak, people are dying all around us. They didn't have the opportunity you got. I'd have to sit out there and I'd watch those kids, and those kids would come up and say, Alan, come on, run, come on, play. And after I say, I can't. Then summer would come, and we had a pool at Fuquay. Mom and Daddy got us a pool membership, and me and my sister would go to the pool, and here I am, I'd have to wear a tank shirt. I had to wear a tank shirt because I wanted to hide the ugly scar that was down my chest. It was big as 2 fingers, looked like a worm. And people mock. You know how mean and cruel children are. You know why children are mean and cruel? Because their mom and daddy's mean and cruel.
Amen.
And I had to hide myself. And that shirt would get wet. You'd see just fleshly meat standing up, a scar. It was ugly on a child. People walk up to you and ask you what's wrong. You had to wear shirts up to your neck because you didn't want nobody to see your scar. I know what it's like. I didn't get bitter though. I didn't give up. I kept on fighting. Because if you sow, you'll reap. If you keep going, you'll have a reward at the end of this thing. And I'm not talking about on the other side. I'm talking about right now. I don't need a reward when I die and go to heaven. I don't need no kind of reward. I need something here.
Yes.
And then when you're 21 years old, the prime of your life, lifting weights, in good shape, and all of a sudden you get in a car wreck, a drunk driver hits your head on. They carry you to the hospital. They tell you that you may not make it through the night. Blood coming out your mouth and out your nose. Every time your heart beats, blood's pumping. Every time the heart beats, blood would come. They're pouring it in just as fast as you pouring it out. Probably won't make it through the night. Then I looked down at my foot. And I said, where's my foot? They said, you've crushed your ankle. We can't do surgery now because your heart is out and we got to get you stable. Spent 29 days in intensive care with a nurse sitting at my foot of my bed monitoring me every minute. 29 days. We're going to operate on you, but this is the thing. Gangrene is sitting there, so we need to operate on you real fast. You may lose your foot. My mom and dad had to sign for me. And I told my mom, I said, don't you let him cut my foot off. I'm going to walk out of this hospital with 2 feet. She let him cut my foot off. Then they operated on my ankle and they said it's crushed pretty bad and probably won't never be able to walk on it good. And you'll always have a limp if you have a foot. I laid up. I thought about it as I was sitting there. I laid on the couch for a year, 22 years old. My mama's house on the couch. 1 year with my foot cut. Pastor Reba, she came to see me. I couldn't drive, I couldn't walk. But I didn't give up. See, I had a vision. I had a dream. I had a desire. I had a will to live. There's something that God puts inside of every man, and it's the will to live. But there's something in the world that takes the will away, and it's called other voices.
Amen.
I can't hang around with folks that's victims. I'm sorry, I can't hang around with you. You're talking about crying and whining all the time, and gloom and despair all the time. And I don't know, I might be gone next year, I don't know. I can't hang out with folks like that. I'm a victor. I belong in the victor's circle. I do not belong in 4th and 5th place. I refuse to come in last. God called me to be a winner on all sides. If my God, He's a winner, I'm a winner too. If my God ain't never lost a battle, then I ain't lost one either. It's just a stepping stone for the next level. God's got me. And I laid there. And I heard something say, get up, son. Get up. Start doing something with your life. And I had this idea. And I had an idea, it was summertime, and I had an idea if I go outside and just get in the air. And I had an idea that if I get in the sun, get in front of the sun, and I didn't know which sun I was talking about. But every day I'd go out there and I would meditate on the Lord in the sun. So I was getting double dose of the sun. And I want you to know I began to rejuvenate. And all of a sudden I began to come back to life. Next thing I know, I was dribbling a basketball. Because I love basketball, Brother Mark. I'd have took you back then. I ain't got to be fast. I'd shoot half court. Like this. Then the next thing I know, I was on the court. And I was playing. Now, I done missed school, I done missed college, and I had to go off a year. And had to stay going a year. And I had to go back to school. And I was supposed to graduate with Pastor Reed with them, and I missed a whole year. I've had my downtime. See, you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you're walking with. You ain't walking with the average Joe here. I promise you. I promise you. Then I got married. He told me I had back trouble, Sister Louise. My wife and children can tell you, my parents can tell you, I was walking like this with a cane. The doctor told me, he said, don't ever come back unless you want surgery. All I can give you is a Percocet, a Perc down, and a Perc up, and then a Perc up. It was just medicating the mind.
Yes, sir.
See, what we're doing in life is we're medicating the mind to numb the mind to the things that really matter. And if we could just change the mind, we wouldn't need the medication. And if we got off the medication, then we could be who God's called us to be. See, I got something to say. I've been through pure hell in health and all around. And I love going up to people who's on the deathbed, raising them up. I'm going to tell you something. The folks that we see get miracles, jumping out of wheelchairs and stuff, they don't act like some of us act. Oh, I feel like I'm going back now. I just don't know. It's just my measure. It's the will of God. No, there's the will of God right there. That's God's will right there. Amen. He's already enacted His will. When Jesus came on the cross, that was the will of God.
Yes, sir.
To heal me. So I'm healed.
Yes.
So now I've got to get my head in the game that I'm healed. And I've got to walk like I'm healed. And if I have to pull a leg, I still got to walk like, what's wrong with your leg? Ain't nothing wrong with my leg. Ain't not a thing wrong with my leg. And see, other people wants to talk about the leg. But let's talk about the man that's carrying the leg. Because soon enough, the man's going to line up, the leg's going to line up, and the leg's going to carry the man. And then I had the doctor tell me I had AIDS in the hospital. AIDS. A-I-D. AIDS. Yes. Not an aid, not a teacher aid. The hardest battle I ever faced. Because I had all the blood transfusions. Back in '85 that they didn't check the blood. All the symptoms show that you got AIDS. You need to take an AIDS test. You don't know the hardest thing I ever faced was an AIDS test. And I had to wait 24 hours. And you want to know what's rough for a doctor to come in your room and make you sign a statement and say, we are 100% sure that you got AIDS and we need to take this test and we want to know tomorrow. If I got it, she got it. If she got it, they got it. Because see, here's the thing. What you got, they got. See, you won't help me today. Your situation flows on everybody. It ain't just about you. You got to quit being so selfish and it's all about you. It's nothing about you. It's time to humble ourselves and get right with God because it's about the next generation. And if I don't get it right, my grandson ain't going to get it right because my children ain't going to get it right and I got to get it right.
Yes.
I want my grandson, when he looks at me, I want him to say, God. God. You know, God half-fathered son of God.
Yes, sir.
I want him to see the Lord in me. I want him to see Christ. I don't want him to take his eyes off of me and say, Grandpa's awesome. Granddad. Wouldn't it be awesome that our children thought we were who we're supposed to be?
Yes. Right.
See, they know us as we're not.
Come on now.
They know us as we're not because what they know about us, that's not who we are.
Come on. You preach good today.
Put this in Genesis 15. And they told me to come back and said, because look, I can't quit this story because you'll go out there and say, Pastor got AIDS. Don't get around me.
Clean it
So
up.
hug it. I got to get it straight, get the story straight.
Straight it out.
And the nurse came back and told me, and I told her, I said, can I kiss you? I mean, I did, but I did tell her that. But I mean, I didn't kiss her, but I did tell her that, can I kiss you? So I was excited, I kissed anybody. Except those that's got AIDS. No, I would have kissed him too. And then, a few years later, all the stuff that's happened in the church over the course of 18 years, people coming and going, and people feuding, fighting, want to kill me, want to talk about me. Call me every name in the book. And all I try to do is bring love. We're probably the only house that's, I don't know how far away, it's got to give some miracles that people would flock to get healed. People came from all over to get healed. They came from all over to get healed. They came from as far as South Carolina and Pennsylvania and different places just to come and get healed. They got healed.
That's right.
We saw it.
Yeah.
We saw the miraculous.
Yes.
We saw God's sovereign hand.
Amen.
But somebody had to keep going. The only way you're going to see God's sovereign hand is to keep going. You can't see God's sovereign. God's not going to give him his glory. God's not going to give his glory to a victim.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a victim today, you're not going to get God's glory. You're not going to get the full manifestation of God because he'll bypass you. So why in the world is he going to give you his mantle when you're going to throw it away and start to rip it up and start crying with it and wipe your eyes? I can't break it. I can't. Shut up. You can't make it. If I can make it, you can make it.
Amen.
If I can do it, you can do it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And then I had the second open heart surgery. And in that hospital room, I thought I was having a stroke, and my wife, it wasn't no thought, I was having a stroke. Started praying, started speaking over me. 2 weeks after I had surgery, I was in this pulpit. For those who were here, I was preaching without a voice. The doctor told me, don't go back for a month. You can't tell an overcomer, he's got to sit out a month. Oh, come on, somebody. That's like telling a bulldog that's a fighter that he ain't eating 3 weeks and tell him, just sit right there and wait for this bone. No. He'll chew your hand off to get it. And then, I didn't know what it was like for your heart to be out of rhythm. Your Papa Jim texted me the other day and said, brother, they brought my heart back in rhythm and I feel so much better. I want to tell you something about your heart being out of rhythm. Whenever your heart's out of rhythm, you lose energy and there's no strength in you at all. And you have to recuperate recompense for that. My heart's been out of rhythm 8 years. 8 years my heart's been out of rhythm. They tried to shock it. They tried to burn it. It wouldn't go back in rhythm. I'm standing before you right now, AFib. AFib recipients, most of them's on disability because they don't even supposed to work. If you want that tree cut, I'll cut it. I'll climb it if I have to. I get on this roof and fix this roof. The other day we were working on a house and my son said, Daddy, don't climb up there and paint that. I said, somebody's got to do it. That roof is just like that. And I walked right up that thing and painted it. 53, number 1. And AFib. I want to give God some praise.
Yes.
See, we don't thank him. You ought to thank him right now because you hadn't been there.
That's right.
That's what you ought to give him thanks for.
Amen.
Some of you here sitting here have never been sick in your life, and you ought to give him the greatest hallelujah praise you ever give in your life because you don't know what it's like till you lose. Then you fight for life. And all my life I fought. All my life I fought to stay alive. All my life. Fought just to stay alive. I will never forget when Brother Tony and there was certain Brother David, I believe it was, come to my house to cut my grass, and I thought I was literally going to die. And I had Cassie to run out there, and I said, go get them men. I said, because I think I'm going to die. And they prayed over me, and I got on the floor with my wife, and I begged God to kill me. I've been there. There's so much pain. So much pain. I've been there. I've been there several times. I've been there where I asked her to go get the gun. I've been there. I've been there. Old people, they go to hell when they kill themselves. Who said? Who said? Have you ever been in so much pain that you can't take it no more? No, you haven't. And God's going to send you to hell for that. I've been there. But the precious of life got me mind. Not the health, the issues around you.
Amen.
The issues around you, the family, the friends, the voices that's the closest to you. This last open heart surgery, I wanted to find the best doctor I could find. Because I didn't want to be cut down my chest again. When I hear people say they had heart surgery, it kills me. But you don't know. You don't know how painful it is. And they told me they were going to go up under my arm and do a robotic surgery. I said, let's do that. I told the doctor, I said, I don't want to be cut down the chest again. And I went off. I had to get the blood right because that's a whole other story. They can't even operate on me without getting the blood right. Because my blood, I'm just a miracle.
Yeah.
I'm just a miracle. I'm just a miracle. If you want to see a miracle this morning, I've never seen a miracle in that church over there. You ought to say the pastor's a miracle because you don't know the history. Our blood is 28,000. 28,000. Your blood's supposed to be at least 300,000. Anything below 30,000, you automatically become a free bleeder and you bleed through the skin. And that doctor asked me this week, he said, do you bleed through the skin? I said, no. He said, are you a free bleeder? I said, no. I said, I cut myself and I asked God to heal it. And it closed right back up. My children can attest to that. My wife can attest to that. I've been cut several times and I say, be healed. Because see, so is a man thinketh in his heart. So is he. This thing's got to be real. And I want you to know that doctor went home and he's the one that come up with the robotic surgery. He said he stayed up all night, and I didn't know this till way after the surgery. He stayed up all night long, and he didn't say the Lord, but he said, I can't do his side. Now I'm wondering, every time I go to the doctor, the first thing they ask me, how is your breathing? Because they have cut me open so much. You remember when I was 12? Your heart's got a bubble on it, just like a baby. And that bubble that's around your heart keeps your lungs from growing up all around because your lungs grow. And it keeps it from growing around your heart. Well, my lungs my lungs had been growing free ever since I was 12 years old. And it's wrapped around my heart. And they said, we can't go in your side because if we go in your side, we're going to have to cut your lungs out around your heart and you may not make it. So we're going to have to cut you open again. And that morning they already got me high. I'm already feeling, hey, how you doing, guys? Great today. Doctor come in there and told what they were going to do. And Pastor Reva, I don't remember her saying this, but she said, can you understand him? Are you listening to him? And yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, whatever he wants to do. Come on, somebody, let's go to Mars. I was gone, man. I didn't know. And I woke up. Another disappointment. Another disappointment. See, you've had disappointments in life.
Yeah.
Your disappointments might not have been as great as mine, but your disappointments may have. A disappointment is a disappointment. But there's one thing I have not let life do. I have not let the cards that's been dealt to me stop me from my destiny. I try my best to show my son and my daughters to be an overcomer. Don't let nothing stop you. My son and my daughter have seen me at my weakest point. And yet they've seen me at my strongest point. And I guarantee you, if you ever get them by themselves and you ask them, which was greater, your daddy's weakness or your daddy's strength, I guarantee you they'll say my daddy's strength, because nothing kept it down. And I refuse to go out of this world and anybody tell Alan Mason was a pansy. He didn't overcome. He didn't achieve anything. Because I was set in this earth to do something.
Yeah.
And I'd be doggone if I'm going to sit on my can and do nothing.
Yeah.
God has called me to do something and be something for Him.
Yeah.
And if I serve a God that's righteous, and if I serve a God that's victorious, why am I a victim when I serve a God that's victorious?
Yeah.
That don't even make no sense at all. And how would I even dare to ask God to do something for me when I'm housing His glory and I'm walking as a victim? Watch this. Behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now towards the heaven and tell the stars if you will be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed. Oh man, look at the stars, God would tell Abraham. What do you see? And do you have the courage to tell your situation that I'm an overcomer? I ask you today in closing, do you have the courage to stand your situation in the face and say, I'm greater than this? I'm an overcomer. I will come over this. I told Miss Linda sitting in that chair today, I said, you see it raining? It's not going to rain forever. It'll stop raining, and so shall your situation stop. Nothing lasts forever. Not unless you want it to.
Unless you want.
But what you going to do? What you going to do? If I can get Sister Haley and Joshua to come up here, I asked you today, Joshua, if you play the guitar, Haley play the guitar. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when the pressures of life? He asked Abraham, what are you going to do? Do you dare to speak to the stars and say, that's what I told you was going to happen? What did God promise you? What did God promise you? You can't tell me that God has not promised every one of us in here something.
That's true.
God has promised me some things, and there's things that I can't share what God's promised me. It's time to start speaking to Him. Do you dare to call back God's word and say, God, you said? You think little, you always be little. You think big, you will go big. You think up, you'll go up. You think small, you'll always be small. You have put distractions and confusion in your head and it's kept you from your destiny. It's time to get them out of your life. Distractions and confusions are keeping you from everything. What do you see? What do you see? I'm going to write something down. This is what you need to write down. What you see is what you will be. What you see is what you'll be. Well, I'm older. You ain't dead. You still got a vision?
Yeah.
I went out there last night. My dad, I saw the shop light on. I went out there, he'd been sick, and he'd been out of the shop. So I saw him right there, I said, what are you doing? He said, I ain't doing nothing. He said, I made a handle. I said, that's all you're doing is making a handle. He said, yeah, I'm just piddling around. My dad's 78 years old, and he's out in the shop building handles.
Yeah.
Doing something.
I do something.
Doing something with his life. Not sitting in the chair watching CNN and HBO.
Yeah.
Every one of us has ghosts in our lives. They're ghosts of ideas. And on our deathbed, I wonder how many ghosts we'll be able to tell. Well, they'll tell us. We were the ghost of ideas. We had all these ideas, and you were the only one that can bring us back to life. Now we're going to have to go to the grave with you because you didn't bring up the ideas. How many ghosts will we bury of ideas God gave us that we never fulfilled? The graveyard is the most wealthiest place on planet Earth. You are creative today because you're creative. You will create your destiny. If you die without fulfilling it, it's because of you. God did not create a TV. He didn't create a computer. He didn't create a house, nor did He create a chair. He created a tree to make the chair. He created gold, steel, and iron. He created a tree. He gave you the idea to make something of it. The stuff that God has given us, what are we going to create with it? The situation and adversities is all around us. How are we going to use it to enhance us?
Yeah.
How are we going to use it to make us better?
Yeah.
How are we going to use it to make a stepping stone so we can step up to the next level? Come on.
Amen.
Stay here a little while. This level's too small. What are you going to get in your mind that where you're at right now is too small? Because you're thinking too small. I can't stay here too long. I might fall off, and I don't want to be here. You are where you are because you choose to be. And you step on up here a little bit higher. And then higher. And then you keep on stepping. Because your situation ain't nothing but a stepping stone. What gave me more victory, I believe, than anything else I've ever heard was when I went back for a year checkup after my open heart surgery. And the assistant doctor, it was not my heart doctor, but he assisted. He came in and he said, Dr. Chitwood is unable to see you. When he walked in, he said, my brother. And he done like this, and he went and hugged me. And he said, Brother Allen, he said, you have so much life in you. He says, you could take a gun and put it to your head. And this is a doctor. And it accidentally go off. He said, and it couldn't kill you. He said, because you have so much life in you. Ain't that what Jesus came for? That you may have life and have it more abundantly. You want your children to touch a victor? Let them touch me. I'm a victor. You want to know why I rub on your kids? I don't want them to be a victim.
Yeah.
I want them to get you out.
Yeah. Come on.
I want them to get you out. Grandma, Granddad, Dad, you don't belong here. Dad, I can't wait till my little action comes to say, Granddad, you don't belong here. Come on, boy, let's go slide down the slide board.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, boy, okay. Victors. We belong in the victor circle. Now, if you say, let's go run a marathon, I'll go with you. I might run a little ways. We can run a little ways. Then we'll rest. But I guarantee you one thing. I'll finish with you.
Amen.
I might not finish with you, but I'll finish with you. Because I might have to slow down. If you say, Pastor, will you run with me? Yeah. Where we going? Over yonder? The first thing I'm going to say, is there an easier trail? Is there a quicker route? If you pull it up on your GPS, because they got a little man walking, you know, he can help you too. First thing I do, and if we can bypass 5 trees, and save a quarter of a mile, let's do it. I'll finish. But I'm a finisher. And it's all because of God's grace. And I want to thank God today. I want to thank God today. I want to thank the Lord today for giving me that old Holy Spirit. I want to thank Him today. I want to thank Him today. I couldn't have done it without Him. I couldn't have been through what I've been through today. I couldn't have made it without Him. I thought I was going to lose my mind in the process. I couldn't have done it. I wanted to give up. I did give up. But God snatched me out of my wanting of my giving up. I want to thank Him today. If He didn't do it, I wouldn't have been here. I want to thank Him.
Thank you, Lord.
I laid in my bed last night and I saw myself and I grabbed my grandson and I had him in my hand and I began to weep in the bed, seeing a new life, allowed me to be a part of a new life, a new beginning. I don't want to show him victim. Just because I have a tear today don't mean I'm a victim. Don't choose me for softly. Don't think I'm a pansy. Because you might want to get in bed with a tiger instead of wanting to get in bed with me. But I want to thank you. I can't wait till that son's born. And I can look at him. Give him everything that I am. I can't wait till my daughter and my other son have children in years to come. God give me the grace to live. I'm going to give them everything that I am.
Amen.
You can talk about what I did yesterday if you want to, but I'm not that same man. And you can judge me for what you heard about me, but I'm not that same man, I promise you. I promise you, what you might think about me, I really ain't who you think I am. If you could just really see inside of me, you would say I was wrong the whole time about it. I'm not that person. I might wear shoes. I might wear the same clothes. But that old man don't live here anymore. I'm a man who's counting the stars and calling my seed as the stars are.
Yes, sir.
I'm that old man that God has said, what do you see? I'm that old man that God said, what do you see? I'm that old man that's calling out what I see. Because what I see is what I'll be. I'm not a man that's dying, I'm a man that's living. I'm not a man that you're going to find in the bed dead. I'm a man that you're going to find out on the rooftop that's alive, talking about Jesus is Lord. That's who I am. You'll never see me as a victim. I've had people tell me that I've used my sickness. You gotta be kidding me. If I'd have done that, I'd be taking up the offering right now. I'd be crying on your shoulder. But you cried on mine. I'm strengthened. And I will continue to strengthen you. And I will continue to kick you and kiss you. If you need a good kick in the derriere, I'm the first one to kick you. Size 11 and 3/4. They don't make 11 and 3/4 shoes. They need to. If you need a kiss, I'll give you a kiss. Well, I don't like to kiss, the kick. Well, good, I do. Praise the Lord. We all need a kick in the the pants every once in a while. We all get down every once in a while. Thank God for somebody that'll lift us up and encourage us and strengthen us. Thank God for somebody that'll pick us up and say, you can do it. You can make this. Don't you look for me to cry with you in your situation. I will not get on my knees and cry with you. I'm going to pick you up, and if I have to take you, I'll take you. I'm not going to take you all the way because you have to cross the line. I have to cross my own line. But I'll help you. I'll be the first man on the field and the last man off if I need to. But I'm not going to take you all the way. We need to quit doing this entitlement stuff. Come on, take me all the way, take me all the way. You have to take yourself. I have to take myself. I ain't looking for no prophet to come to town and prophesy over me. I ain't looking for nobody to put their hands on me. I can lay hands on my own self.
Yes, sir.
Physician, heal myself.
Yes, sir.
And it starts in my mind.
Yes.
If I change my mind, I'll change my life.
Yes.
Change my life. Change my world. Because I'm in the world that I'm in because of my mind. If I change it, I'll change everything. Karen Johnson told me, baby's dropped. Man, my heart, I thought it just, you know what? My heart might go in rhythm when I see that child.
You funny, man.
But you know what? If it don't, no matter how I feel or how I won't feel, I promise you, you won't know it. My mama called me up from time to time. She says, are you okay? Yes, ma'am, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I learned that from Pastor Joseph. I learned that from my pastor. The day he died, I called him up and I was in Pennsylvania. I said, Pastor Joseph, you okay? Yeah, Pastor, I'm fine. I'm good. Told Brother Stephen Crivelli, I said, we got to go home. We got to go now. He's waiting on me to release him. I walked in that evening. Sister Virgie said, he's in there waiting on you. I said, what's he waiting for? He said, Pastor, he's waiting for you to release him. I walked in there and they had a king size bed. And I said, Sister Virgie, me and Pastor Joseph needs to be alone for a few minutes. Just go out in the room for a few minutes and give us some time. I jumped up on that bed and I cut that light on. Pastor Joseph's eyes had already been glazed over and it was closed. I said, Pastor, you can hear me. I said, I want you to listen to me. I said, look at me. And I said, look at me. One of his eyes opened up and followed his left eye. And I said, you've been a good friend. You've been a good brother to me. You've been a blessing to me. And I want you to know I love you. You've been a blessing to Solid Rock Ministry and everybody in there. You believed in me and I believe in you. So Pastor Joseph, you know when somebody's done crossed over, they're made up in their mind. There's a lot of things that's killing us. One of the things that's killing us is in Proverbs chapter 23. Things we hear, the people we are around. We don't have nothing to live for. It's better. I said, go on, Pastor. Love you. Appreciate you. 2 hours later, it's dead. Waited all day. Nothing greater than being around great people. And I've been around some great men, great women. A lot of us gone, and a lot of us young. But they didn't have nothing around them to live for. you don't have nothing in your life to live for, make up in your soul, live for you. I have some roses that's coming up and growing. And little ones that's growing. I have something to live for. I have life to give. Believe it or not, these children that's here today, they'll listen to every word I've said because it's touching the spirit of them. They're not going to be where we are in 24 years. They're not going to have to go through the hell we went through because they're learning right. That's all living right. I know we're late in the stage, late in the game, but it's time to get your head in the game. Get your tail off the pitch. You're not playing tailback. Tail off the pitch, let's go to work. It's time to have a passion for life. Have a passion for other people's lives. These babies that come up here and run and hug me, I love it. I love it. I'm getting right down there with them. Guess what? When I'm 95 or 110, I'm going to get down there with them too. Might get up a little bit slower than I got down. It's a lot quicker to get out than to get up. You don't want to talk about it. I'll tell you this. I'm going to get down there where they are. Because they can't get to where I am. But I can get to where they are. Children can't get to where you are. Why don't you get down to where they are? Spend time with them. Spend time with them. I might start exercising and get ready for this little scratch now. I thank God they live right here in Ashland where we can go to the park. Feed the ducks. I can strip down and go swim up. Not in Andy Park either.
Not in the park.
Because it says no swimming. They're right by the pool. It's time to love life. Do you love life?
Yes, sir.
Do you love life? Do you really have a passion to live?
Yes, sir.
Because when you begin to have a passion to live, those things that beset you won't beset you anymore because you'll be able to overcome them. You'll be able to walk out of them. And before you know it, they're so far behind you. And quit hanging out with folks that keep bringing you back. And quit talking about your past. Why do you keep bringing up about your husband and your wife? Let it go. Let it go, man. Let it go. Just live. Quit holding him where you held him 10 years ago. He's gained more weight. He's changed. He's different. Come on, somebody. He's not the same. He might, I didn't say he was better. But he's not the same. Quit holding people where they are. Let people go. Find you somebody that you can trust. You know who that somebody is? He's the only one you can trust. When you can find yourself, you can find him. When you can love yourself, you can love him. And when you can love him, you can love others. It's time to love. Give everything you can to everybody around you because somebody needs something. This girl right here, I always do like this right here too. Always. Oh, every time she comes by, if I'm close enough, you gotta touch her. Because you never know what they're touching do. You never know what loving somebody is. Liz, last night, she was all over me yesterday. I want to go deep as I am. She sat beside us and we just had a blast. And children. I saw one of them going out of Sister Glory. She was loving. And Sister Glory, she's a little different. See, she got a little pouch. And in that little pouch, she got some little gifts. She brings her little gifts. And they love Sister Glory. But just give to folks. Love people. Be a blessing to people. You want people to hang out with you. You want people to say they run from you. Why does people repel when you come in? Maybe you made a statement. Maybe you made a statement that they don't want to be around you. And then, do you repel people or do you retract people? What do you do? option. Stay where you are. Change the way you think. Or walk out. I'll leave you with that, man. Let's stand.